Have an upcoming vacation and haven't decided on destination? What's stopping you from traveling to the beautiful country, Norway? If it's traveling ideas you are after, check out our top 10 recommendations for places you need to visit in Norway. With an extensive coastline and breathtaking views, Norway is an incredible European destination. While different people find beauty in different things, in Norway, there's something for everybody. If cities are your places of choice, there's Oslo, Bergen, and Stavanger, among others. Fill your days up by visiting art centers, admiring historical buildings, or going to the opera. For nature lovers, the urge to adventure and explore will take you to the great outdoors, which there is plenty of in Norway, from the awe-inspiring fjords along the west coast, to the beauty of the Lofoten Islands, or the Briksdal Glacier. And if that's not enough, the culture in this Scandinavian country is inspiring and amazing to experience. But enough preamble, let's dive right into 10 solid ideas for places to visit in Norway, whatever your preferences. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime exploring beautiful Norway. Friendly people, breathtaking nature, modern cities, and fascinating history. You'll never be bored with these Norway tourist attractions. Number 10. Svalbard Islands. This island is located in the Arctic Ocean and about 800 kilometers from the Norway mainland. Because of its proximity to the North Pole, the island is bitterly cold during the winter. However, this does not take away from its beauty. Svalbard is special in many ways. To begin with, it is the northernmost town in the world, and the inhabitants are a mixture of people from varied nationalities. This is due there being no visa requirements to enter or live in the Svalbard Islands, unless you're traveling from mainland Norway. Fascinatingly, the island has polar bears that far outnumber the inhabitants. They number more than 3,000 against a human population of about 300. Because of the threat posed by the wildlife, it is not uncommon to see the residents go about their daily chores with a rifle slung across the shoulder. The islands have several Arctic animal species that you can enjoy viewing. Among them are Arctic foxes and reindeer. Plus, you can view the majestic whales and seals. Furthermore, the northern lights are visible in Svalbard when the skies are clear. But be aware, darkness reigns for 4 months and daylight another 4. So, plan your trip accordingly. Number 9. Norwegian Museum of Cultural History. One of the best places to go in Norway to experience its rich past is the Norwegian Museum of Cultural History. Established in 1894 by Hans All, it opened its doors to the public in 1901. What makes the museum so interesting is its sheer size. There are 160 buildings on its expansive grounds. At the center of the grounds is a model of an old town. For the traveler who wants to know more about Norway and the rich culture of its people, the museum is a great starting point. Various exhibits are on display in the museum. Exhibitions feature normal life on historic farms, as well as life in a coastal village. The focus is on Norwegian life from the 1500s to the present. A section known as the apartment depicts the interiors of apartments from Vesselgate in the 19th century. The interiors draw their inspiration from 8 periods. Billed as one of the world's oldest open-air museums, the Norwegian Museum has activities for both children and adults. Furthermore, there are areas where you can buy snacks as well as souvenirs. Number 8. Wren Village. If you are looking for a bit of quietness in a stunningly beautiful environment, then Wren has no parallel. The village lies 9 kilometers to the east of Moskva and is 100 kilometers from the Arctic Circle. You can access the village through the E10 road or use the ferry that sets off from Bodo. For accommodation, stay in a rorbua, the traditional fisherman's cabin. Luckily, these quant houses contain all modern conveniences for the comfort of travelers. One of the best activities in Rennes is hiking. Fishing for cod is another favorite activity. However, taking a kayak is the best way to enjoy the gems in these waters. A local guide will know the best spots to make your trip magical. By vacationing in Rennes, you will get to enjoy the quintessential Norway small town experience. Number 7. Hamnoy. Hamnoy is the oldest fishing village and also one of the most charming of Norway's towns. The village nestles in the Lofoten Islands, which is in the Moskenes municipality. Fishermen's cabins, the oldest of which are over 100 years old, provide accommodation for visitors. However, despite the rustic look on the outside, the modern amenities including Wi-Fi fitted in these cabins make for a very cozy stay. Activities that you can enjoy in Hamnoy include bike and boat rentals, hiking, and fishing. You could also opt for more laid-back activities such as a visit to the local museums and art galleries. Here you will learn the history of the area as well as the culture. Number 6. Tromsø. This northern town is considered Norway's gateway to the Arctic. Within the municipality, you can experience the Arctic conditions but at a more friendly temperature. One of the biggest attractions of the town, and perhaps the most beautiful of Norway, is the display of the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, is the name given to a display of vivid shifting lights in the sky. This action is caused by the magnetic field of the poles of the Earth. Charged particles released by the Sun interact with the atoms in the Earth's upper atmosphere. Want to come close to some of the Arctic wildlife? Tromsø is the place to get close to the polar bear and wolves without compromising your safety. These animals, muskox, and lynx are all found in Polar Park. For a more adrenaline-fueled adventure, go on a whale-watching safari. Nothing beats the size of these huge animals as they come up to the surface for air. The most common species you'll see is the sperm whale. Tromsø is also renowned as a cultural melting pot, with various music and film festivals taking place throughout the year. Some of which are the Northern Lights Music Festival, Tromsø Jazz Festival, and the Tromsø International Film Festival. The Smack Food Festival gives visitors a chance to sample some of the local delicacies as well as other Norwegian dishes. And another highlight of cultural events is the reindeer racing that takes place during Sami Week. With all these amazing things to see and do, no wonder tourists regard Tromsø as one of the best places to visit in Norway. Number 5. Runde Island. One of the most beautiful places in Norway courtesy of its fabulous bird life is Runde Island. The sea around it held a secret for ages, which adds to the island's allure. Here are the two main attractions while on Runde Island. Puffin watching, and the other is explore the treasure island. Number 4. Geiranger Fjord. The Geiranger Fjord is classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, as well as the filming site of several films with its breathtaking views. The story of the fjords began about 10,000 BC. At the time, glaciers covered Norway. With their retreat, the fjords were born. There are various means you can use to tour fjord. For cars, the trip begins at Langvatnet following Norwegian County Road 63 to Geiranger. One can access the nearby Dalsnibba mountain through a series of steps cut into the mountainside known as Dalsnibba Skywalk. There is a wooden ramp at the top that gives a breathtaking view of the fjord. Or you can use the zigzagging Eagle Road. Notable features along the route are the spectacular Seven Sisters waterfalls, which have the Suta waterfall facing them. Then, there is the Bridal Veil waterfall, with its elegant and otherworldly drape of water cascading down dramatic cliff faces. Don't forget the Skageflow and Knivesflow cliff edge farms with their rich history dating back to the Middle Ages. Number 3. Viking Ship Museum. This cultural history museum in Oslo is one of the most captivating of Norway's many attractions, and certainly deserves its own mention on our list. The Vikings were seafaring warriors whose legendary exploits continue to fascinate to this day. Some of the Vikings set sail from Norway on their epic voyages. And a trip to Norway would be incomplete without a visit to learn the history of these warriors. At the museum you can find the Tune, Gokstad, and Oseberg, which are preserved Viking ships. When their rich owners died, the ships were relieved of their sailing duties, towed to the shore, and used for funeral rituals for those owners. Of the three, the Oseberg is one of the finest examples of Viking artifact preservation. Also on board are preserved skeletal remains. A trip to the museum includes a film that sheds light on the life of the Vikings and their process of shipbuilding. During the museum tour, English-speaking guides are at hand to explain the day-to-day life of these warriors. Archaeologists have pieced together the framework of the ship, which gives you a view of the shape and structure of these boats and the workmanship that went into building them. Number 2. Frogner Park. One of the largest public parks in Oslo is Frogner Park, and it is massive, covering roughly 110 acres. Historically, the park is part of Frogner Manor, and as such is one of Norway's major tourist attractions. The manor was converted to an Oslo museum which houses various cultural and historical artifacts. As a visitor, you can check out the large photo exhibition that depicts scenes and portraits of the city's development. One of the key attractions within Frogner Park is the Vigeland Sculpture Park, which holds 650 stunning sculptures crafted from 1924 to 1943 by Gustav Vigeland. In addition to the sculpture garden, there are fountains and bridges. The centerpiece is the towering 16-meter monolith that contains 121 intertwined human bodies. Frogner Park receives over 1 million visitors per year, and with good reason. Other than the sculptures, the park also boasts a stadium, the Frogner Baths, and a fabulous rose garden. Whether you are out for a romantic evening or just want to have fun in a beautiful, secure, and interesting environment, Frogner Park is the place to visit. The weather does get chilly, so it is advisable to wear something warm for your visit. To further fortify you against the cold, grab a cup of coffee from one of the adjacent coffee houses. Number 1. Oslo. Oslo is the capital city of Norway. Although a major hub, only 20% of Oslo's extensive land has been developed, while the rest of the city hosts parks, open spaces, hills, and forests. But don't be fooled by its small size, there's always something to do in this city. You can head out to the Norwegian National Opera and Ballet, or visit some stunning museums to catch a glimpse of the country's enchanting history. Oslo also has amazing architectural marvels, including the medieval castle of Akershus, and the Oslo Cathedral. And Oslo hosts one of the very few documented zero-energy buildings, ZEB, in the world. Take time to visit the Snøhetta Pilot House and wonder at its innovation. For the outdoorsy traveler, spend some time relaxing in the gardens in Oslo. And if visiting in winter, go skiing in the magical mountains close by. Overall, Oslo is widely considered one of the best cities in Norway for good reason for both tourists and locals alike. Norwegians have always been great fans of the outdoors, as is evident in the variety of activities the country offers. From the landscape to the flora and fauna, you will have plenty of things to see and do. And the theatrics of the Aurora Borealis only add to the allure. Of course, a rich history has given rise to one of the most fascinating and modern cultures on Earth, giving tourists no lack of options for things to do and see in Norway. Have you ever been to Norway, or would you like to go? Which of Norway's tourist attractions most appeals to you? Sound off in a comment below. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you next time. Bye bye.